Welcome. This is Leading with Spirit, the show that gives you an in-depth look at topics like what it takes to navigate your spiritual journey, how to heal yourself and grow your spiritual gifts, and balanced practices to expand your business and your spiritual leadership. I'm your host, Spirit Bird, shamanic teacher, healer, and author, here to guide you on your journey to becoming your most potent spiritual leader. Do you want to be a shaman? Do you want to be a spiritual leader? Do you see visions of yourself healing others, going to different parts of the earth and performing ritual, being in spiritual regalia? Do you see that as part of who you are, part of your existence, part of what you're desiring too? If that's you, then there's a very good chance that you are being called to be led by spirit. For me, one of my biggest commitments to myself, and at least as far as I am aware right now, my highest contractual agreement for coming here to Earth is the agreement to let myself be used by spirit. There, of course, is a difference between committing to being used by spirit and this idea that whatever happens is supposed to happen. So I want to be clear about that. I don't want to go into that a whole bunch right now. I'm just going to assume you know what I mean and stick with this place of like, okay, I am here in the embodied form as a shaman. I'm living this very shamanic life. I'm regularly healing people. I came here to do this work. It's all over my astrological chart that this is who I am. And there's a place where doing the work is different than the agreement to be used by spirit. And this is what, my highest calling is. So being used by spirit means that you are willing to, when you're in agreement, you are willing to let spirit come in and follow its guidance, follow what it's telling you to do, how spirit wants to use you. And when this happens, there are going to be moments that they point you to a direction that you do not want to go, that looks dangerous or scary, or means that you're going to have to shed a part of who you are, a part of your personality structure. And of course, I'm not going to go deep into this either, but again, I just want to say this means being used by spirits means being in agreement with what they're asking you to do, not that they're ever forcing you to do something that is, not in alignment with you, right? But we're going to assume that you are in agreement, even though there's moments where it's tough. So I want to share just a little bit about what this looks like today. Being used by spirit for me means there are moments that I want to stop everything and run and retreat. Being used by spirit means serving the highest good, including myself in the highest good, but serving the highest good, doing the thing that actually serves the most amount of people in the most powerful way. And sometimes that means like looking like the bad guy. Sometimes that means not being loved by everybody. Sometimes that means saying the thing to someone that they need to hear that nobody else will say, and in the right way for them to receive it. There are moments that I am so afraid that what I'm doing could or would cause harm, or could affect the system in the wrong way, that I definitely am more centered in my knowing and who I am and what I'm doing. But there are still moments that I'm afraid, that I'm worried or concerned about how this will play out. And for me, in those moments, that's when I check back in with spirit and have to ask, like, what is serving the highest purpose here in the best way with the least amount of harm for myself or for the other people, right? And again, actually, I'm going to bring this back in one more time. The difference between like anything goes or whatever happens, happens, and an agreement to be being used by spirit. An example is I was calling in an intention for a ceremony I was hosting. And I found myself, as I was calling in and stating my intentions, saying something like, like having the highest experience possible or the best experience possible for for everyone here. And I caught myself because I realized it really left things really open-ended, because we could have somebody get hurt and have to go to the hospital, and it could serve a higher purpose sometime in the future. But I wanted to be clear, that's not how I want this to come through. So again, being used by spirit is very much about this a partnership and agreement. What serves the highest good in the best way, in the way with the least amount of harm, right? So here I am having this download for earth embodiment a few years ago. It was actually when I was developing shaman school, the term earth embodiment came in. I knew that it would be a program that I put out sometime in the future. I knew it was going to be my life's work. I didn't know what it was yet. I thought it was going to be 10, 20 years down the road. And then I was in the middle of really starting to dismantle this part of my personality that actually isn't serving me anymore. And that I've shared about that, but I'll share again. That is my extremism with environmental consciousness. And I'm not letting go of doing the right thing and taking care of the earth, but what I am letting go of my attachment, that it is the right thing to do and it is the best way. And if you're not doing it the way I would do it, then you're wrong. That's the piece that I'm letting go of. And so you might take a look at where you're holding on attachments to beliefs that actually, it's not that your beliefs are wrong, but it's your belief that everybody else is wrong, and how that is affecting your interactions with other people. There's an opportunity to look at that and to actually be the change in loosening up your attachment on how that's the best or right way. So it's no coincidence that while I'm in the middle of this process, that spirit would also invite me to go ahead and launch earth embodiment. Gave me the downloads, gave me what they want me to teach, why they want me to teach it, and how they want me to bring it forward. And it's happening. Here I am doing it, right? But of course, it's like the humor of spirit to invite me to do my life's work in a way that would have me, that it might look very different than what it is. So for me, what's going on underneath the surface in my consciousness is I'm really struggling to let go of some of the personality problems. And I actually needed to give myself a few weeks where I could kind of freak out and let the frustration and the hurt one in me and the angered one in me come out. When people can very easily make a sustainable choice, when people can very easily make a choice that is not harmful to the planet, but they don't choose that, that's very frustrating to me. How can they not see? How can they not see that this inflicts pain? How can they not see that their choices hurt the earth? How can you not see the way and the waste that was produced to bring this product forward? How is your heart not freaking out at what's happening? But then I had to listen to spirit, and spirit invited me again to do something totally different and totally radical, and invited me to go the opposite way of what I normally do. And this is the moment where I'm starting to bring my work forward. I know that for me, part of the primary underlying like higher purpose for earth embodiment is so humans can carry the wisdom of earth in their body, so the earth will never die. So when the day comes that we're either by choice out in space, or earth is gone and we're just out in space because she's gone, that she lives on through us, and the wisdom that is encoded in this planet is in our bodies and will continue to affect the universe for years to come, for forever. And as much as I want that to be like what I'm really sharing about, because for me, that's what motivates me the most. This is the agreement. This is the contract. This is what I came here to do. This is what I fucking came here to do. And spirit was like, okay, but this is how I want you to present it. You can talk about that a little bit, but actually we're going to give you this other piece. So you're going to be teaching earth embodiment and how to do it, but also we're going to add this extra piece where you are doing a bunch of business development. or project development. So earth embodiment, I'm working with people that have a business of some kind or a project of some kind. It doesn't have to be a spiritual business, but there might be, some of them are working with nonprofits or artists that are working on bringing a project forward. And so what this looks like is I have this big spiritual side to what it is, but Spirit also asked me to bring the business side in and be like, also, we need you to teach on this too. We need you to help lift up these voices so the projects and the things that they're working on get out there more in the world. That's what we want you to do. So even though I want to be all off in the like, oh, the keeping the earth alive through us, which is true, Spirit wanted me to go the opposite direction that I normally do and go into the business world again, to bring this work forward in other people, and also to invite those people who might be on the fringes of society, to invite them to go straight into the system. And it's breaking a core pattern that I normally have, which is really to that, like, I do just want to leave the system. I do just want to like retreat and get away from the systems that I don't like. But what I'm learning, again, is being used by Spirit means, for me, means going directly into the system and helping others do the same thing, helping others develop their spiritual work and put it into a business project so they can go directly into the system. And also so they can make money and support themselves in their vision, because they too are motivated by these really important higher purpose things. And sometimes the passageway between that higher vision and how to bring it to fruition in the world is the hardest place to navigate, because it means going into the system. It means business success. It means career. It means things that I certainly didn't care about before. And maybe you're there too, or maybe you're not. Maybe there's a different personality attachment that's ready to go. Maybe yours is the opposite. Maybe yours is coming out of hyper career focused. Maybe yours is letting go of materialism, right? So it works both ways. For me in this process, I'm having to make amends with materialism in my life, acknowledge that it exists, acknowledge that I have desires, acknowledge that it's okay for me to receive some things in order for me to serve my higher purpose. It means making amends with privilege. It means making amends with opportunities that before I hated. And now I see that this is to help my higher purpose, the divine purpose that I have here. For me, it doesn't mean that I'm going into my bubble of privilege or going into this bubble where I'm actually just here to explore how I can be abundant, and then that's supposed to teach other people. But that I can go into that place, be okay with it, and come back out for the higher purpose. So I can lead a group of people that are here to change the system, going straight into the system and delivering their own medicine, all while teaching people practices that are based solely on the fact that at some point, the thing that I love the most, the earth, will in fact not exist. What? It's this beautiful, mysterious journey of knowing what you love and what you care for, understanding your higher purpose, agreements of what you came here to do, healing the part of you that is in resistance to doing it so you can actually be used by Spirit. And it's beautiful. And if you have any interest in earth embodiment, this is coming up very soon. So please send me a message and I can share more about what that program looks like if it feels like it's in alignment for you. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have you been hearing the call to expand your spiritual gifts and step into your next level of conscious leadership? If you're a coach, healer, or a spiritual leader, you can learn more about Shaman School and growing your spiritual business on our website, HoltonHealingArts.com, or send me a DM at Holton Healing Arts. Welcome to today's Member Query episode, where we explore questions about spiritual paths, intuitive gifts, growing a spiritual business, and shamanism. Do you have a question for us? send us a DM at Holton Healing Arts. Doesn't true authority come from the spirits? This question actually isn't directly from someone in our private Facebook group, but it is a comment that I see a lot from people that actually have a false belief about what it means to be a shaman and what is required to become a shaman. So while it's true that authority does come from your relationship with the spirit realm, that's not the only place that training and knowledge happens. And I'm going to be a little intense here because honestly, holding that belief is very disrespectful for the wisdom keepers and the ancestors who have come before us. And again, yes, connecting with the spirit realm is a huge part of this work and is ultimately where the authority comes from. But part of being a shaman means being part of a community as well. So the people that have come before us with this work have spent thousands and thousands of years developing this work, learning from their experiences with working with nature spirit, working with higher powers, and working with other humans. There is wisdom that they carry that they have passed on to other humans. And if you have this belief that only working with spirits and not working with a mentor or other people is the right way, that is wrong. And actually, that is very disrespectful, again, to the thousands of years of people that have been carrying this wisdom and keeping this wisdom for you to have. It's actually a gift so that you don't have to learn all of this stuff from square one and you don't have to recreate the whole wheel, so to speak. The other reason that it's really important and a big part of the shamanic journey into becoming a shaman and is being in community, because this work is intended to keep our community and to keep our world in balance. And so you have to work with other people for this to be true. And so while the spirits might and will definitely be teaching you things, you also need to work with people so that you can put it to practice and so that you can actually apply your skills. The other reason that it's really important to work into community and get rid of this belief that it's only supposed to be between you and the authority of the spirits is that this is accountability. When you step into this work, there are times that it can definitely feel like you are on moving ground and you're going to see the depth and breadth of how things work and what they mean. And you're going to start to see really far into the future. And that means you're going to get into some territory that can be tricky, that can be ripe with possibility, but also comes with the opportunity or the possibility of, being fear-based or being led by fear or doing things that harm other people. And it's really important to have other people as eyes in your community to help hold you to integrity so that you can make sure that you are doing the right thing, the thing that's in service to yourself and the highest number of people possible in the best way, and that you are not getting misled down a wrong path. And inner knowing is really important for this, but also so is community. So yes, authority does come from the spirits, but community is just as important on the journey of becoming a shamanic healer as working with the spirits is. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Leading with Spirit. If you did, please share the link for this episode with your biggest takeaway, tagging me at Holton Healing Arts. It would also support me if you subscribed and left a rating and review of the show so we can support more people living their highest purpose. Until next time, journey on.